guys, I'm Dr. Adam, and today we're talking about pivoting, prospering, and leading in uncertain times. So Mark, the first step is pivoting. In this system, what does that actually mean?
Well, most people get stuck in the how, what am I going to do? The hamster wheel, monkey mind is going on, and what am I going to do? Trying to analyze a person's competition. What is everyone else doing? And putting all that attention on the outside world, and then worried about how they're going to fit in. And all that worry destroys our creativity and enthusiasm in putting all that information on the outer. So the quick way is realizing that we're in this beautiful sea of unlimited consciousness, or field of all possibilities, and we can access that field and get our perfect solution from the field once we can give up the worry and all making where we are wrong. So you got to be able to accept where we are, find out, be able to trust that we're going to be able to have our perfect download, and we actually give ourselves the feeling of it before it ever comes in.
So that's the pivot.
That's the pivot. Instead of waiting for one day, someday, maybe I'll be happy with this, maybe I'll figure it out, give ourselves the feeling of already having figured it out, until my body goes ease. Then once I do, then I'll remember from the sea of possibilities my perfect solution.
If I'm having trouble moving on, I feel like I'm stuck, or if I know what to do and I feel like it's really difficult to move forward, what would you say to me?
Well, there's several things that hold people in stuckness. People say I'm stuck, but you got to be able to identify what's really holding you in place. And it's either shame, blame, guilt, or hate is what's keeping the person stuck, or a combination of those. So if somebody I'm not moving forward in my life, and I'll ask them, so are you proud of that? Do you feel good about that? Well, no, I don't. What do you do? Well, I don't like it. Then that's hate. And they're blaming it on being stuck, but you've got to name exactly what it is. And Scripture just says, once you name something, you have power over that thing. And as soon as they can name, I hate this. I hate this. I hate feeling this way. I hate this. I'm really embarrassed about myself with whatever's
happening in their life.
I should be way ahead of where I am right now. Why did I let this happen to me?
I want to be.
I want to be. All those things, it's like tar holding that person into place. So once you're able to identify it starts to be able to pull those things off, and the person starts to be able to move again. Like, this is normal for this. This is how life works. Once we're able to see it, we can shift it. And here's another layer of that. We have shame, blame, guilt, or hate all associated with it. But we're stuck in the participatory role of life. Cause and effect, action, reaction, no higher consciousness. So we have a process where we have a way where we get people up to go into the observer role. Once they get into the observer role, they'll be able to see what they're doing and the results they're producing, and be able to see what their next steps are, where they choose to go. And then we bring them from the observer role back down to the participatory role, and we close the loop again. If you stay in the participatory role only, you're kind of doing this and moving, bouncing down and going, getting away from the life you love. When we pop up to the observatory role, we bring in love and enthusiasm, go back over, come back down, and unite the observer and participatory role in life again. And now we're starting to live our life of our dreams. Life of our nightmare, life of our dreams, our choice. And it's a real simple process. It takes a few minutes to explain it, a few minutes to do it, maybe a little bit longer to master it, but the more we do it, the faster you get into it, and it becomes a body sensation. And once that body sensation occurs, it's like riding a bike. You'll remember it, and you'll be able to build on it. In a few coaching sessions, you'll be able to ride a bike so well you can get on and do a flip on it. So you keep embodying those tools at a deeper level.
What if I'm experiencing mixed results with myself or with my clients?
Then this will be an area about commitment. You're on the fence. If mixed results are going to be, if you haven't committed to inside yourself, then your outer world is going to show that.
When you say commitment inside myself, what do you mean?
As you begin to go for your dreams, most likely everyone has a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's not committed.
That's the first time I've heard it that way.
If I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G plans to be able to, if this doesn't work out, I'll take one of these other plans. Yeah. That's other than committed. Now, as your new commitment pulls you forward, in other words, it's like I'm becoming it. As it begins to pull you forward, all these other things are going to begin to dissolve. And as they do, a lot of times people get upset because their back door dissolves. Oh my gosh, now what does that mean? And can you feel like, oh my God, that means I'm really going to do this. And it becomes a little contraction, but really you're going into a contraction for this new expansion for the life you really love.
So what does purpose have to do in times like this?
Until we find our life's purpose, we're basically like a ship without a rudder. And wind, waves, everything affects us. Well, maybe I'm going to do this, maybe I'm going to do that, maybe I'm going to do this, maybe I'm going to do that. And your purpose, when a person finds their purpose, their purpose goes beyond what they're doing. It's their beingness while they're doing it. I mean, maybe if you're a coach, or maybe if you're in the healing fields, great, maybe that's what you're doing, but your purpose can be something even deeper than that. And remember when you were coming to work every day and just going to work?
Oh, it was horrible.
It was horrible. I mean, when I walked in your office and was working with you, Howard, 2 years ago, it was a drudgery. And you were doing everything right, but you had no purpose behind it.
It's true.
And now I come in and you're happy, everyone in your office is upbeat. You and your wife are upbeat. And how you remember when we were working on purpose with you and how you found it, and once you did, it was very emotional for you?
Yeah.
It's so obvious to most everyone around you, but you were the last person to see it, but we help you find your true purpose by this really unique process, and it's quick, and it's emotional. And the tears, remember when you went through it, and the tears and the sweating and all that, and that was your old, I can't do it, limiting drudgery of life self falling away, and your new birthing of, oh my God, life is amazing, and for me, self being born in that same moment. I mean, that's purpose.
How can I get more clarity?
So when somebody has a lot of confusion, they're stuck in a pattern of self-judgment. And that self-judgment is like a veil that they can't see through. They're so beating themselves up. You can't see through it. You got to get above it to be able to see through it.
The observer role.
You got to get into the observer role. Once you get into the observer role, you get out of all the tentacles, and those tentacles are all through the brain. They create furrows of the brain. The person continuously does the same patterns over and over and over and over again because they're doing it right, and they think that this is going to produce the result they want. That's insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If somebody's in a bunch of confusion, what does that do to their confidence?
Ruins it.
Yeah. Really weaks it. People can smell it. People can smell that, man. We're aware of, on a cellular or just from an animal awareness, way more than what we consciously think we do. We maybe get a little feeling, that just didn't feel right. The person didn't, I don't know about something, this feels kind of weird. And if somebody's in confusion and clarity, people pick it up and go, why don't I want to work with them? They're not even sure about themselves. We're going to empower you to move from surviving to thriving. And it's a simple shift in our feeling world. And once you go through that particular shift, all of a sudden clarity comes in very, very quickly. And what I think is one of the coolest things we do is whatever level you start out on, it's going to keep expanding. I mean, you ever go to a class and you rah, 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 you get out of it and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I mean, what we're doing here, it keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. And the chemical producing factories in our body keeps producing more and more of this feeling for confidence, clarity, passion, enthusiasm, respect, appreciation, gratitude, reverence for life. And as we do that, our life changes. Once we begin to see life in a new way, life is new for us.
Our first call together, I was rambling off words so quick. Hey, what is this? What is that? This is what's happening. Blah, 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 blah. And you told me, hold on, slow down. We're connecting mind to mind right now, and we could do that for 50 years. I'm not going to change anything. You got to feel, brother. And that's one of the main parts of our system, feeling.
So I'm going to explain what thinking and feeling is. Feeling is our subconscious world. And our subconscious mind processes information about 400 billion bits of information per second. Our conscious mind, about 2,000 bits of information per second. So our conscious mind can be very occupied running 10 or 15 conversations through it and eat up all its bandwidth and sit there and stress itself out, which lowers our mineral content in our bodies. It's a hamster wheel. The only way to move through this is to change the person's feelings. If you're changing the thought without changing the feelings, like a rubber band, I'm really changing my thoughts. They're doing great. Wham! It pulls you right back. So the feelings you've got to change those feelings with it. As we change our feelings, our thoughts automatically change. So we don't have to work to change our thoughts anymore and have a long, habitual, let's work on this over time, and I'm in the process of, and I'm working on, and I'm trying it, and I'm attempting it, and I'm getting better at it. Like, we can do this really, really quick. We have a process that takes a person back, has them find the traumatic memory of where all those knots started. They change that memory, heal that memory, and then their speech patterns change instantly. That's, to me, we can do that, sometimes do that process in 15 minutes. Sometimes it may take a little bit longer depending on the person, but I mean, 15 minutes or 3 months, you choose. I mean, it's way faster.
Yeah, I'll take 15 minutes every time.
And in today's society, we see so many commercials about, oh, if you get this fragrance, you're going to be this. If you get this car, then you're going to be this. If you drink this, you're the real thing. All the empty promises, and it's all based on something out here.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes anything out here is inside me. I change this changes, and we change this inside. We help you identify those things, those hidden pieces of you, those hidden feelings, those subconscious patterns that are manifesting your light, producing the things that maybe you recognize, you call karma in your life. Oh my God, I got some bad mojo or whatever. But those are just unconscious manifestations. So we help you find those unconscious patterns that's creating those manifestations, change them, and you go from you're living your unconscious manifested life to your consciously manifested life. And the process is simple, easy, fun, playful.
So 2 years ago, I was nervous about everything. I was frustrated, I was upset, and I was down. My relationship with my wife was failing, and I probably wasn't the best father that I could be. Now, I'm handling everything with grace and ease. I'm having fun in life. I'm loving being with my wife. I'm loving enjoying time with my kids, and it's all because of working with this wonderful system. Schedule a call with one of our coaches. See what we can do for you.